What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the most disturbing TikToks on the internet today. For context, don't believe everything you hear or see on this video. Strictly for entertainment purposes only. With that being said, slap that like and subscribe button like it owes you money, and let's dive in.
All right, y'all check out this trail cam footage of officers that was investigating human remains found at a site. Now, this trail cam caught this. What's crazy is I want y'all to see this image right here that was actually following the officer. Now, that looks like Bigfoot to me. What y'all think? All right, y'all check out this.
That had to be an alpha male type Bigfoot, didn't it? Sasquatch, one of them. Yeti, you name it.
So which one of y'all name is Roll 312 on Roblox?
Not me.
Why are you sending this grown man our address? He your friend. How old are you?
38.
38?
Yeah.
Do you know how old she is?
No, I know that's Roll 312.
This little girl is only 12 years old.
I just came to play.
You think you finna come in my house and play with my 12-year-old?
No, bro. Said we can do Minecraft and stuff.
You're not. So which one of y'all name is Roll?
Man, if that ain't the beginning of a scary movie, I don't know what is. But this is actually reality. You definitely gotta check the parental settings or something on that game. You know, make it so they're not able to talk to strangers and only family members. And educate them not to talk to strangers on video games. Back in the day, we had to worry about talking to strangers in real life. Now you gotta worry about talking to strangers on the internet. Crazy times we're living in.
The machines in the movie The Matrix said that the peak of civilization was 1999, and I'm looking around at the current situation, and I'm starting to think that that wasn't a joke. The machines in the...
Some people will say that The Matrix was actually a documentary. Which pill do you want, red or blue?
The ramifications to this video, the findings of this video are so shocking. The ramifications to this video, the findings of this video are so shocking. The ramifications to this video, the findings of this video are so shocking that I need to hear other people recreate this. And if this is true, then our entire world can change very quickly. Listen to this, absolutely shocking, and let me know your thoughts.
What if intuition was a state of water, a kind of etheric antenna? You see, I've observed that after placing a sunflower seed in water, removing and freezing using my crystallographic method, the water doesn't design the seed, but rather it reads the potential in the seed and designs the outcome, the sunflower. Here are examples of water doing the same thing with apple seeds and flax seeds. So what if the water in us shares and receives information to and from the water in the air around us, which on a very subtle level is attracted to the human biofield, which is electrical and magnetic? Since it appears that water reads potentials as demonstrated in my seed examples, then perhaps the water in us uses our electrical charge to probe all potential outcomes simultaneously like a quantum computer and returns back with the most likely outcome, which we all call intuition.
So intuition is the water in our body, seeing the potential of outcomes, quantumness. Like, this is incredible. The shockingest part, you put a freaking seed in water, you freeze the water. If you didn't catch that, that's what she did. She froze the water. And the water froze into the shape, the look of a sunflower. But she just put a seed in it. This is real. Recreate this study. She did it with apples and freaking alfalfa sprouts or flax seeds. Now, this is reminding me of Masaru Emoto, if you guys remember, the Japanese man who they say his studies were never proven and But meanwhile, we know he was onto something there with the freezing the water. Plus the snowflake thing too. I mean, water is, from my understanding and research, actually conscious. It's not this inanimate thing. It has its own consciousness. It's self-organizing, and it has memory. It retains memory. So there's a lot to water that we know nothing about, which we were never told, but I'm sure if this woman knows about it, if I know about it, how could you tell me that deep underground military bases with limitless budgets and boards of the most brilliant scientists in the world are just unaware that water has these incredible properties and powers? The ramifications to this video.
That's absolutely insane. Some people theorize that honey actually holds memory as well. Check this out. Let's type it in. Honey memory.
Did you know honey has memory? When you add water and swirl, it remembers the shape of the comb. Did you know honey has memory? When you add water and swirl, it remembers the shape of the comb it came from. Nature is amazing. Did you know honey has memory? When you...
Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but if you look towards the end, you can almost see the honeycomb start to form. And it kind of reminds you of those roots in those petrified trees if you want to take it a step further. All right, they're trying this experiment again. They said they just added room temperature water to this honey. And let's see if honeycombs actually form. I'm seeing it. I do see it a little bit. I got to try this experiment with myself and actually see if this happens. How crazy is that?
Cards out. Water is a sentient, conscious 2025 bingo cards out. Water is a sentient 2025 bingo cards out. Water is a sentient, conscious being, life form. Water has structural memory. You can test this by putting honey into water and it'll show you the imprint of the exact honeycomb that it came from. Researcher is taking it a step further. She is asking the water to duplicate an image that she gives it, and it does. I can't even paint this well. Look how gorgeous this is. The exact image of the duck, but it goes way beyond that. She gave the water a flax pod, and she gave the water a sunflower seed pod. And this is the image that it produced. It produced an image of the entire full plant from just the seed. Duplicated this result time and time again with arnica, chamomile, and pine. The water is intelligent. The water is alive. Think about the implications. We have so much ability within us. Next time you're having a hard moment, offer some love and appreciation and see how that transforms your water. 2025 bingo.
You know, blessing your food hits a little bit different, putting those positive affirmations into it before you digest it. You know, sometimes I'll be starving and I'll bite into the chicken and I'm like, dang, you know, and I'll quick, you know, say my prayer, Lord, forgive me. You know, but I try always to pray before I eat my food and before I go to bed. All right, last one. We have someone else doing this test. They all can't be lying, can they? Let's see if the honeycombs form. This is raw, unfiltered honey. You know, I always wanted to start some honeycombs myself, but, you know, it's just so much work to it. If pests or mice get inside those honeycombs, you know, you gotta... I kind of see it. I saw it a little bit. But yeah, I always wanted to start my own. But what are they called? The honeycomb boxes. I always wanted to get my own. You know, I seen somebody selling some nearby. You know, I don't know how they do it. They just take the queen in there and do they all follow them? You know, but that would produce countless honey, especially if you're on a homestead. You know, I feel like honey is important. I love honey on biscuits. I'm eating some biscuits with honey on it tonight.
Turns 70 years old next year, and this is what she looks like, a 25-year-old in her prime. I just want to make this very clear that this is what she looked like 10 years ago. How could you age down 50 years? 50. This is absolutely insane, but it's very normal for Hollywood, if you know what I mean. There is a conspiracy that is out there that these people drink something that keep them looking young. And if they have a large supply of it and the best available of it, which we know the Jenners and the Kardashians probably do, then they can look like this. Now you might say, oh, well, it's just plastic surgery. Tell me when plastic surgery ages you down 50 years. This lady's about to be 70 and she looks 25 years old. This is the Kris Jenner we all know, the wrinkles and all those different things. Plastic surgery doesn't fix all that it fixed and de-ages you 50 years. If that's the case, everyone would be doing that exact plastic surgery to keep everyone looking 25. There's only a few things that can keep you looking that young. You guys know exactly what it has been rumored to be and what the conspiracy is. However, you can't talk about it on TikTok. Why? Because we're very censored. You also know that a lot of her associates are on the list, and you know what list I'm talking about. And so I would not be surprised if this is you know what. A talking code, because you just can't say anything nowadays.
This is giving me some type of vampire vibes that's not aging. What was that movie? Twilight, the Coulsons type stuff. I don't know. Y'all tell me. She turned vampire or what? The Collins, my bad. The Collins. Coulson, Collins, I was close enough.
Just because he's funny doesn't mean he's kidding. Listen to this.
They're sucking the last bit of money out of this government before we default on the debt. They're sucking the last bit of money out of this government before the dollar is worthless. They're sucking the last bit of money out of this government before the financial system is in some stage of permanent decline. And they're doing it in the Sam Altman types and the Elons and the Zuckerbergs and the Tim Cooks and many others and the Larry Finks. They know that there's probably a tipping point at which the dollar's going down, the system's going to be radically reformed, the democratic process may not survive. We might go into some type of fascistic military junta, not to be a downer. But before all of that happens, they're sucking the last bit of money they can out of this bloated, dying corpse of an empire. And they are strengthening their position for an inevitable period of chaos. This is my guess. And it's well informed. And if you say this to people, and I live out in the Hamptons, I'll say things like this to people and they go, oh, well, it's a bit dramatic. They don't say no.
This is inevitable for every single world empire in human history. And world leaders just met in China to plan our demise. It's not if, it's when, and it's around the corner. And in the last depression, there were people that thrived instead of just surviving. And if you want to make sure you're one of the ones that thrive, you need Dollar Apocalypse. It's not fluff. It's 300 pages of what to do day by day, hour by hour when the collapse inevitably happens. It tells you exactly what to have that'll be worth more than money because the dollar will be dead.
You got a homestead, you growing all your own veggies and your fruits, got some chickens and them honeycombs we were talking about, man, you'll be all right.
Did you know if you have one Gmail address, you actually have infinite Gmail addresses? And what I mean by this is you can actually add a plus sign to your Gmail address and then type in whatever you want afterwards. I'm going to do Facebook. And any email sent to this address will actually get sent to my original Gmail. But the email in your inbox will still show that it was to that new email address that you created. And here's why that's important. Next time you sign up on a website, just add their name at the end of your email address. And now if you get any spam emails to this address, you'll know that this website sold your data.
Damn.
Where are the images from Christopher Columbus, right? Where are the 1492 ships? And we talked about this in multiple other videos. Look, they have a picture of the Santa Maria, which I thought was really interesting. There's the ship that supposedly came over, right? But here's the part that doesn't make any sense. So check this. You have this ship, right? But look at those high-rise buildings in the background. Those are pretty big. So people supposedly coming over on these ships were also building high-rises in the back of the city. Now we fast forward in this book. So now we're going towards looking at each state, right? Each state. And this is really important too, because each state had these buildings. So this is a building in California and it goes by each state. Look at that. Look at that architecture. Just remarkable, right? The amount of detail, the arches. Big Bang Theory must have included those buildings too. Yes. So when they were doing Big Bang, they were talking about Big Bang of these things because they were getting rid of a lot of this stuff. Where are the images?
I wonder if I got that Christopher Columbus in one of these books where they were talking about the old world. Probably this one, honestly. I mean, the old world architecture is just so amazing. It always baffles me. probably going to go live soon on Jet Ski Chuck, and we got to really dive through these books. For example, take a look at this Paris, a detailed light street in Paris. I mean, look at that. You got a dude's face. That's just a street light. They were on a different level back in the day. I hear that they upgrading these street lights trying to, control us. That's just another theory. Matter of fact, let's see if we can talk about that. The blue lights is what it was.
Over here on my right is what a normal light should look like, right? That's the kind of lighting. But across Phoenix, we are seeing this instead, more purple lights showing up. We're told about 1,200 of these lights started popping up a couple of months ago in the city. That's out of about 100,000 total lights in Phoenix.
You may have seen them lately on your evening commute. Street lights across the state that are glowing blue. And the Iowa DOT says it's an issue they are aware of.
That's right, Patrick. When they were first installed over a year ago, they were a normal white color. Now, as you can see here behind me, they've changed to a purple blue color.
The lights really are different colors. Some white, some a purple, even blue hue. About 16 months ago, they gave off the normal white light, but within a year, their true colors started shining through.
Purple street lights that are still illuminating some roads right here in the Tartaria.
These purple street lamps have seen the light of day or night on many roads in the Carolinas, from Kernersville to Greensboro, Burlington, and beyond.
I'm trying to figure out
We're here on
can AI see us better with the blue lights? What's the purpose?
So y'all know how people have been saying that these purple lights are for users to not be able to see their veins? Well, this is a gated railway station that they cannot even get into. So let's do away with that narrative. You guys have been lied to. These purple lights are serving a far more serious agenda.
I mean, what? Do they got cameras inside?
Are you ready for a deep dive?
The following are all videos from Antarctica and some from beyond Antarctica. The very first one I'm going to show you is supposedly a hidden civilization just past Antarctica. They go undetected because allegedly there's an invisible barrier surrounding the city that doesn't allow any signals in from the outside world. But it's said somebody was able to get this video because one day that invisible barrier broke down. They were able to hack one of the cameras surveilling the city and get this footage. Whether you believe that or not is up to you. It's very peculiar and it looks legit. This was before AI was even here. This video's been around for quite a while, so take that for what you will. Check it out.
So they're saying this is beyond the wall? Inside? Could you imagine? This is giving me some anime Attack on Titan vibes, where they got giants in there inside there petrified. How crazy would that be?
So there's actually a mysterious story about the last footage that you saw in this video. A long time ago, there were two brothers from Australia that went out fishing. They decided to keep sailing as far as they could until they could sail no longer. Well, eventually, they reached a point where they ran into a massive wall. But instead of looking like ice, it looked almost as if it was like clouds or the sky. It was almost as if it was some sort of hologram. But as they approached, they noticed a large number of shipwrecks floating, battering up against this wall. There were ships as far as the eye could see, half sunk, and seemingly no sign of life aboard any of them. What was weird about it is, while some of the ships looked fairly new, there were some that looked old, like they could have been from the late 1700s, early 1800s, which made them think, how long has this been going on? As you can imagine, this gave them a very eerie feeling. So naturally, they decided they should radio somebody, possibly the Australian Navy or the Coast Guard, to get them out there to investigate this anomaly. They picked up the radio and did a mayday call to anybody in the area. The Australian Navy happened to hear their call, but when they responded, they got nothing back, and those two boys were never heard from again. The Navy would search based on their call, but they would never find the shipwrecks that they explained over the radio. And no one knows exactly what happened to those two brothers to this day.
Are you ready for a deep dive?
I'm always ready for a deep dive. We're not called Dark Waters 9 for no reason. And let's get to this specimen. It's about time for that specimen, isn't it? If you thought I didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again. All right, divers, feast your eyes on this fluorite. Man, I just love how the blue edges and then it has the dark green within it. Man, what a specimen. What would you guys name this one? If I had to name it, I would name this specimen the Emerald City. Yeah, the Emerald City. That's what I'll name it, guys.
The year was 500 AD when the Galactic Federation Martians came to invade Earth. They took over Tartaria. They erased the history of Atlantis. They melted buildings down. They enslaved the people. They took the positions of your leaders so that way you would think that they were always here. They rewrote history and wrote themselves in. They made us forget that before they invaded, we were at our peak of spirituality and technology. They destroyed all the buildings and inhabited our lands. They placed the dome over the earth and brought the moon into our district. These are master colonizers, strategists, and this is the reason why they want to take over the North, because the North is the last remaining stronghold of the ancient Elohim. With no place to go, after the Anunnaki destroyed Mars, they only had one option: to flee and look for a new land. And so they came across an ancient land that even the Anunnaki knew was the primordial beings. And this is the land that they chose to colonize. The year.
That would make a hell of a movie, wouldn't it? Right up Star Wars alley. Avatar, we got some excellent CGI. I'll watch it. I don't know if it's true, but I'll watch it.
Definitely the most energetic spot I've been so far. See, this isn't just a sculpture, guys. It's not just public art. This is a signal relay vault disguised under a phoenix, meant to symbolize rebirth while actually looping energy through a trap grid. Right now, I'm standing in the center of a multi-directional electromagnetic system. These light rails form a perfect coil around the structure, pulsing electricity into the ground and upward into the air. What they're doing is making this entire intersection a living battery. The metal phoenix, it's acting like a conductor, charging the atmosphere with every train that passes. The power boxes, the red grid, even the concrete below me has tech embedded in it. And your body becomes part of it the second you step into the circle. But here's the twist. They didn't expect someone like me to walk in with full awareness. I'm not just standing here, I'm claiming it, guys. You see, this place was built to see if your frequency can survive distortion, pressure, and neural scrambles. And I did more than survive it, I overrode it. Now every signal that passes through here is bent to me. It doesn't drain me, it amplifies me. This, friends, is how you flip the system, not by fear.
I like the way he thinks. I don't think he's crazy. I like the way he thinks.
God was real.
Wait, you had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah.
That is crazy. Crazy price for fame. Man, that's all we got for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is honey biscuits. Go ahead and drop honey biscuits in the comments below. That lets me know you're a real one. You watched the video all the way through the end and you really rock with your boy. And I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you for all you guys sticking with your boy. And I'm going to continue banging out these videos for you guys. I plan on going live soon on Jet Ski Chuck, diving into some more of these old world structures in these books. I got like 5 of them, and I'm gonna order some more so we can, take our time, really dive into these things, see if we can spot them on Google Maps or something. Because I really enjoy doing that, and I would love to see you guys there. And I just want to say thank you again for kicking it with your boy. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.